All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform, right here in the 1010XL podcast studios. Check us out online at 1010XL.com. Don't forget to download their app as well, and you can listen to this show live, and you can listen to it archived, et cetera, all the great content that is done right here at 1010XL. Of course, we're live on Facebook, 1010XL's Facebook, and my own personal Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, to everybody fresh out off the press of Jaguars Today that I do every Friday from 10 to 12 noon. The show brought to you by my good friends at Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Was AA Bail Bonds. I told you his story. He came in shining light in a moment of darkness for a family friend. Boom, took care of the situation, got that person out of jail ASAP, and of course, took care of business for them. And that's, look, you never want to have to call Chris or any of his team, but if you do, and you are in that situation, he's the best. And I know him personally. He's a great dude, and he's going to do great things for you when you are in the most time of need. 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-BAIL, the number one name in the bail game. Also brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned, which I love, of course. And, hey, man, they can take care of all your removal needs and not just your junk. So make sure you check out J-Dog Junk Removal. And, hey, look, when you need their services, they're one of the best. Like, I met their team. Most of them are all military, and they're just salt of the earth. They do what they say. They're going to get the job done right. And, of course, I'm proud to always represent a veteran-owned business, and also brought to you by the Carbon Man home of LVP Luxury Vinyl Planking. All right, just real quick, the Dad Bods tonight playing at the Island Wing Company in Bartram Park. It's going to be a great time. We take the stage at 8. Looking forward to that. We switch up the set list a little bit and added a few songs. That's going to be cool. We'll be rocking and rolling for you, putting on our best efforts. Mondays, I get to go out to OTAs and part of the alumni groups, meet the coaches, talk to coaches, stuff like that, see the players. So looking forward to that. Graham Marshu's here. Good morning, or good afternoon, Graham. How are you, pal?
Hello, sir. Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, big time. It's Friday, baby.
Friday, yeah, and then Saturday, Sunday. What? Yeah, exactly. I love Friday, no doubt about it. We were talking about OTAs. I mean, look, it's a doldrum. It's not the doldrum. As a player that had to make the team, OTAs are very important. They are. As somebody trying to evaluate the team, I don't know. I just don't put too much stock into it because, look, do they look fast? Yes, they look fast. That's great. Everybody's got to be fast. They completing passes? Yes, it's great. They should be completing passes. Do the DBs look great? They're breaking on the ball? Great. The reaction time's great. Great. That's great. But without any, serious hitting or pads or anything, I mean, they have value. There's no doubt. But I'm not part of the hype, that goes along with. Everybody feels good about their team right now for the most part. Maybe not to win a title like we feel we're in position to maybe make that run. And I think we are too. I just pull the reins back a little bit. I want to see it. Am I excited about this team? Of course I am. But I got to see it happen on the field when it really counts. Guys running around in shorts and helmets. Hey, man, you got to do it. It's part of the business, part of your gig, and part of your job. And you got to be in shape. And the guys that are trying to make an impact, it's big. It's very important for you to do something, to look good. Maybe it's in coverage. I will tell you this. 7-on-7 has tremendous value for the defense especially. That the routes, coverage, everything. No, there's no pressure, so you obviously have a little disadvantage there. But they don't let the QB sit back there forever either. They're going to blow the whistle if he doesn't throw it after a few seconds. But there is a lot of value in 7-on-7 just because the mental aspect. Coverages change, motion changes, your guy changes. You could go from having number 3 to being the 2 weak side just by the motion, going to the other side. You got to know everything that's going on.
Remember in the Super Bowl when the Chiefs ran their little motion play where they'd have Kadarius Toney coming in like he's about to come across, and then he'd jet right back out?
Yeah, Jamal did that.
Yes.
Yep.
That type of stuff, I feel like, is where you can get coached up in 7-on-7.
That's time.
Yeah.
Oh, when you can, yeah, of course, yeah. Well, again, and look, the defensive coaches are putting it in perspective. There's no rush. We get that. But it's more about I got to know that these guys know exactly where they're going on every single snap. There can't be any doubt. And we knew Devin Lloyd last year struggled with that a little bit. Yeah, he should be better at that this year. They all should be better at all the communication, all the terminology. That's what's nice about this year. You don't have to learn new terminology. You know, although the plays may be the same or similar on other systems and whatnot, it's that terminology that may change. And you just got to memorize. I mean, that's basically what it is. You got to memorize your playbook. You got to know everything that's involved. So that is where the true value is. So then when you get to training camp, you hit the ground running. You do start back at the beginning. At least we did, right? We'd go back to the basics. Like that first day of training camp, we're running 4-3 base, over, under, cover 2, cover 3, maybe man on occasion. Then the next day, they're going to implement nickel, then dime, and then all of a sudden you're just running all of it after maybe the first 4 or 5 days. But
that's true for any level of football.
Yeah, you start from the beginning.
Even high school starts here, and you kind of build it
Make sure everybody,
days and weeks,
because again, the less you think, the better you're going to play. Period. You can't be thinking out there. You got to be playing out there with just knowing what the hell is going on. All right, the Nuggets go up 1-0. Did you watch the game last night against the Heat? Did you? How was it? Good game? I didn't watch any of it. We just moved, so I don't have my TV set up yet. I should have it set up today, but
it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
At the end of the first quarter,
yep,
the Nuggets are up 9. Okay. So pretty dominant first quarter. They're up 9.
Yeah.
Jokic took one shot.
Ooh.
He took one shot in the first quarter, and it was with like 3 seconds left in the first quarter, and they were up 9.
Well, I saw where Jimmy Butler said we got to drive to the basket more, but he only had 2 free throw attempts, so I don't think he was driving that much.
The Heat in general only had 2.
Okay, total.
It was an NBA playoff record for that little free throw.
What were they just staying outside? They afraid of Jokic in the middle, or what? They wouldn't get to him, or couldn't penetrate. Is it Jokic or Jokic? Jokic with a J though, right?
Yeah.
Jokic. Jokic. Sorry,
the Heat did shoot a lot of threes, and they do shoot a lot of threes as a team.
Yep.
But I mean, 2 free throws is insane. What that really means is that the Nuggets are doing a really good job of not fouling.
Right.
They're getting to their position early.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like football. If you get beat, there's a much better chance that you're going to commit a pass interference or whatever. But if you're in position and you get your work done
you don't
early,
have to do the foul.
Right, you're going to be in better position, and you're going to be able to play more clean defense. The same thing.
Totally.
The Nuggets just did a really good job of just playing clean, hard defense without fouling and getting rebounds.
It looks like they've been practicing pretty hard. They take game 1. I think the Heat got to take the next game, or it's over. Maybe not a sweep, but they don't have a chance to win.
The problem is at some point in this series, because they don't have home court, they're going to have to win in Denver at some point.
Yeah, I think they.
And I thought last night was their best shot.
I thought it was too. You'd think they would have a shot, thinking that the Nuggets may be rusty, but it doesn't sound like they were very, very rusty.
The tough part was how easy it was for Denver.
Yeah,
they weren't even. It wasn't even like a tough game.
Yep.
Like when the Nuggets were
it was pretty easy from the looks of it.
Like when the Nuggets were beating the Lakers, I know they swept them, but every game was like
contended,
close, and like the Nuggets really had to fight. Like game 1, they didn't have to do anything.
No, I know. I know. Well, listen, they're a confident team. They're loaded, and they're well coached. That's for sure. We'll see what happens. The NBA is going to wait till after the series to decide what they're going to do with Ja Morant and the suspension looming. I'll just say this. I'm all for freedom or whatever, as long as you're not hurting nobody or yourself. But you represent that NBA shield, man. And if they don't it's too bad. Don't give me this freedom. Hey, he's allowed to do it. Well, yeah, he is in our country allowed to do that. But that doesn't mean his employer has to put up with it.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't have to. I mean, people make these comments like, it's freedom this, freedom that. Well, there are, repercussions to some of those things that you call freedom. Him being suspended. Yeah, they should have suspended him.
I've always hated that logic.
That's not a good image for the NBA. What are you saying? Like, hey, I'm a young NBA stud, and now I'm, no, we're not advocating that. So I'm all for.
I've always hated that logic.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh well, it's legal. Okay, well, it's legal for me to be late to work.
Right.
I don't think my employer's going to be very happy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to jail because I'm late to work, but my work's going to be pretty damn pissed.
Conduct detrimental to the team, conduct detrimental to the league. Yeah. Those things are very important when you're a professional football player, even collegiate, and even down to high school, too. I mean, you're representing that shield. And you've got to represent it in the light they want you to represent it in. And they're not trying to sit there to tell you can't do what you want, but you can't do that.
And with Ja, this is not an isolated incident either.
No, it's the second or third one.
You can't play dumb of, I didn't know. Or
right.
He literally got in trouble for this same exact thing more than once.
Yeah.
And he's had other incidents too that are not this, but just other stuff. And it's like, dude, you got to
go shoot a rap video and they won't care. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just to make it hey, I'm just in this guy's video. It's so big. I don't know. You know, they may not like that either. But that's the point. Look, again, at the end of the day, he represents the NBA. And they can say what they want. If they don't like that image, then they're going to be like, look, you can't. It's so different than, remember when the players used to do the.
Yeah.
The NFL didn't want that. They're like, no, we don't like that. We don't like that. What does that mean? You're dead. We're going to kill you. You're going to cut your head off. You're slicing somebody's throat. I know what it means. It doesn't mean anything. But the idea of it, the image of it, no, nobody, they didn't want this. What did they do? They banned it.
Yeah.
They ruled it out.
Fred Taylor's kid, Kelvin Taylor, played running back for the Gators.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He scored a touchdown and he did that.
Yeah.
He did the throat slash. And Jim McElwain was the coach back then, and he destroyed him on the side.
Well, Freddie would do it. But look, it wasn't, I'm not trying to say they were doing it maliciously. The NFL just didn't like the look of it. So they're like, no, you're not doing that.
It's an image thing.
And it's an image thing.
Same. Just like Ja, it's an image thing.
So he's young, though, isn't he? A young kid?
He is. And
how old is he?
I would say Ja's probably close to my age. He's probably
25.
Yeah, early to mid 20s.
Yeah. He should start maturing pretty soon.
And the thing about Ja is, like, fair or not, Ja is one of the young guys that's considered a future potential face of the league.
I agree.
When LeBron retires and Kevin Durant retires, and when those guys are done, he's part of that next group.
Agreed.
That's supposed to be the face of the league. And with all the foreign stars that are in the league now, he's the main American guy.
Good
the
point.
other two main guys, the other three main guys are probably Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. And Steph is kind of older. He's with the LeBron age.
Yeah.
Ja's the youngest American guy.
Right.
And, like, there's nothing wrong with the foreign guys, but the American guys, they connect with the American youth a little bit differently. Yeah. It's like, he's got to be smarter, man. Yeah. He's not a role guy that plays 10 minutes a game. Well, like, he's Ja freaking Morant.
Can't do that. You just can't do that.
Oh, 100%. But I'm saying, like, his punishment's probably harsher given that it's Ja Morant. But that's justified, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's multiple times. So
yeah, exactly. It's like, you got to be smarter.
Do something. You just can't do that. I mean, you know what? Back in the day, those are the guns you'd show. Go lift some weights. Be good for you. But I know a lot of people out there like, well, it's freedom. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, there's ramifications to some of that. Like this, you can say whatever you want in this country. Doesn't mean, that I have to believe in it or agree with it or, could give two craps about that.
And it doesn't mean that just because something is legal in a court of law, that it's acceptable in the eyes of your employer. Right. Those are two different things.
I agree.
When you get financial gain from somebody, they get to dictate more of what you can and can't do. In that type
of setting, totally.
And it's also not just the NBA, it's Nike too. Nike's got a huge deal with Ja.
Yeah.
Nike's sitting here like, what are you doing, dude?
Right.
Like, we endorse you.
Not telling you who to hang out with, not telling you what, you can live your life the way you want to live it, but you got to protect the image.
You just can't be an idiot, man.
Got to have the right image, no doubt about it. Well, hopefully he gets that figured out quick. I was going to talk about this on Tuesday because it came out, but I just want to address it. So this Jimmy G situation for the Raiders is very interesting. So he couldn't have passed. First of all, he had foot surgery after they agreed to the contract. They had to have known that he was going to have it, I'm sure. He wouldn't have been able to pass the physical, so he signed a waiver release, which means if he doesn't pass a physical, that whole deal could be done. Like not even happen and not be a Raider. Which is kind of odd, I think. I mean, I've never been in that situation as a player, but, I mean, I don't know. I mean, why not? Why do you wait so long for the surgery? I mean, that's number one. I mean, maybe just found it, maybe just happened. By the way, Brian Hoyer is there. How many years Brian Hoyer been in the league? Guess.
You have the answer, and I'm guessing. Okay.
You have the answer, I'm guessing. Yes. Which time?
9.
Going into his 15th year.
Oh, my God.
I know when I saw that, I was like, now that's a nice gig, man. 15 years in the NFL as a QB.
Is he the new sweet? Is he the new Ryan Mallett?
Yeah.
Or the new Chase Daniel?
Yeah. Right.
You just go from team
Mike
to team.
Tomczak played 18 years or 19 years and started a little bit and backed up most of the time. There's nothing. That's a great career.
And by the way, you know this too. Every extra year you get, that pension gets a little sweeter.
Oh, absolutely.
And
that's why I always kind of, chuckle when I hear, people in the media like, oh, that's just a guy. Like, that guy played 15 years in the league. No, is he a stud quarterback? No, but what a great career. You kidding me? I'd love to play 15 years.
That's also, you know this better than most people. That's harder to accomplish than people think it is.
Without a doubt.
A lot of people think that these guys, like C.J. Beathard is a good example.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of fans probably think that a guy like Beathard just kind of sits around and plays some catch on the sidelines.
You got to have value. Big value as a backup.
It's like, bro, if the coaches don't think that you are contributing something, and if they don't think that they can trust you in case of emergency, you're not there, dude.
Well, think about this.
You think there's not hundreds of quality backup QBs that would love a deal?
Think about this. Especially when you have a young QB, but regardless, you have your starter. Who's he going to go to first after he gets, ripped by the coach? He's going to go to his second-string QB. I'm like, man, SB. And then the QB, what does he have to do? He's got to calm him down. Hey, man, don't worry about that. Let's look at what you see. Because they watch the same film. They're in the same room. They may not be able to do it physically, but mentally they know exactly what should happen. I mean, I always say this. Those grunt players like myself, they make the best coaches, not the superstars. The guys that you may not be able to do it physically, but you know how it's supposed to look.
That's what Doug was.
Right. You know exactly how it's supposed to look, So that's why those look at Chad Henne. Made a great career for himself, being a backup. And what does it mean? I'm here to support my starting QB first and foremost. Then when you need me because he's injured or having a crappy game or whatever, I can step in and you can count on me to not lose the game. I may not win it for you on my back, but I can't lose it for you either. That's why the backup QB is such a huge part. That's a grunt position. That's part of the glue I always talk about, right? You got to have your stars, but you got to have your glue players. Those nitty gritty, guards and centers. The ones that nobody really talks about. The fullbacks. Your punter that has to get you out of a jam. Your returner, your gunner. Your first and down linebacker, just those kind of guys. Your nickel backer, just the glue. You got to have really good players. Well, you got to have a really good backup because if something goes wrong with that starter for whatever reason, he may not be able to fill the void all the way to the rim. He can get pretty darn close, and that's what you're hoping for.
And
good for him.
I also feel like another really important part of a backup QB is being knowledgeable enough about the offense and being able to run it efficiently enough to where for the rest of the guys, it doesn't feel super different.
You're confident with him.
For the running back, it's not very different. For the receivers, their timing and stuff doesn't change all that much, like that type of stuff.
Yep.
If you watch Beathard on the sidelines, that guy's head is down in that iPad.
Oh, he's
the whole game.
Listen, man, he's a weapon. He needs, especially when you have a young QB. You got to be not that Trevor needs it, but you got to be that that confident, just stoic right there. What do you need? I'm here to help you. What'd you see? It's no ego, right? You're not sitting there going, man, I hope you screw up so I get to start. That's got to be although inside you may want that, but you can never show that because everybody does want to start.
That's why as much as the fans and myself included loved Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I don't think it was going to work for him to be here long term.
No, definitely
even if he himself is an unselfish guy and about the team, which I think he is, he had built up to a little bit too much of a profile for himself.
He was getting a little bit too much into the mania, I thought.
Yeah, and it was
my opinion.
And I'm saying like even full benefit of the doubt, let's say he's not that way at all.
Yeah.
There's too much around it anyways.
Yeah, right. Right.
There's too much in any moment that Trevor was going to struggle, those murmurs were going to start.
Yeah.
And especially that first year when Trevor didn't play very well.
No, right.
You needed that rock and backup that he could lean on like Beathard was.
I will say, and I don't know Gardner personally, but he wants that starting job in Indy. He ain't going to sit there and just let AR take it.
And he should want it.
Damn right. And if I'm him, I'm fighting tooth and nail for it, and he may be the better fit early on. You don't know. You're hearing stories down in Houston. C.J. Stroud's way ahead of the pack. Well, that's great. Ahead of David Mills taking first-team reps. He's your first-round pick. You should. I don't know if you'll see that in Indy with AR right off the bat. I'd be shocked if he starts week one. He'll play week 1, but I don't know. I would. It depends if Gardner plays well. I think he'll have a chance to start week 1. If he doesn't play well, then yeah, AR will be the starter. But
I'll tell you,
they'll have a package for AR.
I'll tell you, as a Jags fan,
yeah,
I'd much rather AR start.
Oh yeah,
week 1.
Yeah,
I mean Minshew, a motivated Minshew against his former team.
No, I know. He can play. You pull up, and we're all stat people now, right? And I always say stats don't always tell the story. They tell part of the story. But you go look up Gardner's stats. You're like, pretty darn good stats overall. So yeah, that's going to be a big one. We'll see how that shakes out. I do want to wrap it up with this. I've got to I don't really like putting this out there, but my mother fell again, and she's in the hospital. She's doing okay. She's stable. I went and saw her yesterday. Just not pretty. I feel so bad and sad. She's 92. It's just, but anyway, we got her heading in the right direction. She's going to be fine, but I'm going to go over there and see her and say hello. But I did want to end this show with talking about the Times Union strike. Now, I'm not a writer with the Times Union, of course, but I'd seen that they went on strike. The union went on strike. Look, those writers, they do a great job. I may give them grief here and there, but the Gary Smiths of the world, the Eugene Fermets, Demetrius Harveys, they're really good writers. I know from a sports perspective, I don't read the political stuff. I see it on occasion with Nate Monroe and things like that. But overall, they do a good job over there. So I'm hoping you guys you can work it out. I know that people have donated money to help support your while you're out of work, I guess. But I hope that gets resolved quick. Nobody wants to be out of a job when you got a job that you really like doing. I know the ones I mentioned, I know you really enjoy writing, sports, whatever, Jacksonville. It means a lot to you. So I do hope that ends quickly, here in Jacksonville and not let that linger on. Be fair. I don't know what fair is, but be fair. I don't even know the deal. So I'm not going to get into that side of it because I don't know, how underpaid or how, under, appreciated they are, but it sounds like they are. So hopefully you can find some common ground and get these great writers back to doing what they love doing. And
Demetrius is a 1010XL regular.
Oh, he's awesome. I've known Gene for a long time. I've known Gary for a long time. Gary and I have had our moments, here and there, but I love him. He's great. He does a great job. They're just, doing their job and giving their best effort. So hopefully it all comes together. All right, Dad Bods tonight, baby. Come on out. Enjoy it. And we play 70s, 80s, 90s rock and roll. We just switch up. My ADD's terrible. What's going to be our Push? We're going to do Push from Matchbox 20 to start. But then we get right into it, and we're ain't talking about love. We're talking, we got some new ones. Fat Bottom Girls is coming. Any Way You Want It. Little Pearl Jam. Just let it rip. That's what I say. Close my eyes and let it rip. That's why I wear shades. But I hope to see you out there at the Island Wing Company in Bartram Park. I'll also, I'm going to be at the OTAs Monday, so looking forward to that and seeing our Jags and seeing our coaches and whatnot. I'll talk about it on Tuesday when I come back here to the 1010XL studios. Of course, I want to thank Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, formerly AA Bail Bonds in St. Augustine. He's got an office in Clay County. He can help you anywhere. Make sure you call 904-822-BAIL, the number one name in the bail game. Of course, J-Dog Junk Removal. They remove more than just what you're thinking. They will take care of whatever you need in that service. You need something moved, whether it's big, heavy stuff or just stuff you're not using. You just want it out of. They'll take care of it for you. They're right here in Jacksonville. They're veteran-owned. They're great guys, great people, and they do what they say. So great to have them on board. Of course, the Carpet Man and 1010XL for having me here in the 1010XL studio. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. We'll see you right here. I'm catching up with Tommy Mack on 1010XL's podcast platform. All right, be cool. Peace.